tonight on X. I don't know if the president is going to tune in. Feel free to say if he is or not. But I think that misinformation on Twitter is not just a campaign issue. It's an American issue. What role does the White House or the president have in sort of stopping that, or stopping the spread of that, or sort of intervening in that? Some of that was about campaign misinformation, but it's a wider thing, right?
Yeah, no, and you've heard us talk about this many times from here, about the responsibilities that social media platforms have when it comes to misinformation, disinformation. Don't have anything to read out from here about specific ways that we're working on it, but we believe that they have the responsibility. These are private companies, so we're also mindful of that too. But look, it is. I think it is incredibly important to call that out as you're doing. I just don't have any specifics on what we have been doing internally as it relates to the interviews, and that's something that I'm tracking. I'm sure the president's not tracking it either.
Hey there, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot coming at you with another one. The clip I just showed you was a reporter at the White House asking Karine Jean-Pierre her thoughts on the Elon Musk Donald Trump interview that I'm sure you guys heard that went on yesterday. I don't know how many of you guys were able to see it. Me, I was working late. I rushed home. I was able to catch it, and I was able to embed myself into the chat room that they had, even though I didn't participate. But I basically heard the whole interview. I thought it was great, especially the way Elon and Trump were talking. To me personally, it was very eye-opening, and also just listening to both of them talk, the way two of the world's most famous men getting together and talk, showed that, you know what, regardless of where people sit when it comes to a society, on your status or whatever the case is, when you get two people that have the same interest in order to better a country together and talk, it's really interesting to listen to them. And not only is it interesting to listen to them, what they did, not only to people on the left, not only to the Democrats, not only to all the Trump haters, it also basically affected people in Europe, mainly the EU, because it was so hard for them to swallow. I like I said, I'm sure a lot of you have heard that the EU commissioner or something like that basically sent a letter to Elon Musk threatening him not to have the interview with Donald Trump. Now, there's a lot that I want to show. I had to pick bits and pieces in order to put this video together. It wasn't easy because there is tons of stuff online right now that it is just overlapping each other, okay? But in case you guys heard or you didn't hear, if you heard it, I'm going to show some more. You probably heard it already. If you didn't, it'll be your first time watching. But like I said, I had to get some information, and also there's a piece that I want to play by BCP, basically a reaction on a reaction, because the stuff he put together with some of the news video that he got just shows this so-called disinformation campaign that the Democrats and the EU were saying that Elon Musk and Trump were going to put out, and yet it shows their disinformation. Okay, so basically, if you ask me, the interview that they did together was well played. This was a major chess move to show millions, tens of millions of people around the world, okay, the hypocrisy, the double standard, okay, the disinformation campaign that the powers that be are the ones that are running, and they're trying to point it to people, that they're trying to point it at people that are trying to do better for, for this country, for the world, but they want you to believe that those are the ones that are destroying things. You can't make this up. I tell you what, before I get into any of the other stuff, I'm gonna ramble on just a little bit, so bear with me, folks. Trump does a lot of things that basically the left walk into, and they expose themselves. They wind up sticking their foot in their mouth, and they literally expose themselves. A lot of people say that Trump may be stupid or whatever the case is. I mean, you got social media influencers talking about that it was the worst interview. Trump was this, Trump was that. He sounded stupid. It was boring. Nobody was listening. Trump, I've said it once, I'll say it again, and I'll always say it. Trump plays an ultimate game of chess. Okay? And I'm telling you, this move last night, I mean, it's this move last night that Trump and Elon made last night, the move they made last night, is basically 2 moves away from calling checkmate to the Democrats and the powers that be. It was perfect, because even before the interview, the video I just showed you, that was a reporter asking Karine Jean-Pierre that what was the Biden administration going to do about the interview because of the disinformation that's going to be spread. If that right there doesn't show you that they were in panic mode and that they're trying to shut down, free speech, I don't know what else is. And if you've seen the way, I almost always want to say Jean-Claude Pierre, her name is just annoys the shit out of me. But the way she tried to skirt away from it because she knew that her answer wasn't going to be the right answer, it just showed that, you know what, if that question probably would have been asked behind closed doors, I'm sure she probably would have had a better answer, say, you know what, this is what we're going to do. But since it was asked in front of the world to see, she had to skirt away from it and say, oh, well, you know what, I mean, it's a free platform, this, and that. But she still had to throw in that little dig, saying that they're, that they want, like, all the disinformation campaigns shut down. But lest she forget, unless the world forgets, before Elon Musk bought Twitter, they were the #1 disinformation campaign, and it was proven being used, against Donald Trump and people on the right. So now that the shoe's on the other foot, now it's like, well, now I gotta watch what I say, because Elon Musk has, the world's biggest social media platform, and it's so big and this is so serious that the EU is jumping in. And when has anybody ever heard of the EU getting into anybody's business like this? And they did it. And it's not because they're afraid that Donald Trump or that Elon Musk is going to spread disinformation. No, what they're afraid of is that with all the chaos that's going on, with all the protests going on around Europe, in the U.S. and in other places around the world, they don't want any more people finding out the truth. That's basically what it is. They're like, you know what, we got to send this man a letter telling him that you signed on to like this, and this. Meanwhile, Elon Musk, send them a letter back basically telling them, kick rocks. This interview will happen. We're in America. Where do you get off thinking that you're going to start suppressing our freedom of speech? That shit may work right now in the UK, and I'm going to show you guys some videos of what's going on with all this censorship that's going on, regardless of all the riots that are going on in the UK, all the chaos. They just think that, you know what, we have the power to shut down freedom of speech anywhere around the world. Really? I don't think so. But before we continue, it's going to be a little lengthy. I'm going to try to keep it short. I just want to thank all my new subscribers and all my subscribers here on YouTube and on Rumble. So don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass the channel around. And if you can help support the channel, there's a link in my description to my Cash App and my merch store. Also, I'm leaving the links again to the Give, Send, Go and the GoFundMe campaigns for my friend Josie and Filosa Alexander. So if you guys can help them out, go on their campaigns, even if you could just leave them prayers. There's no such thing as too many prayers. Prayers always help, and they're greatly appreciated. And with that being said, okay, one more thing. I'm about 120 hours short of reaching 4,000 in order for the channel to get fully monetized. So people, thank you. Please keep watching. Give all the videos a thumbs up, okay, and pass the channel around, especially to the youth, okay, because a lot of this so-called information or misinformation, whatever, and a lot of the censorship is basically to control the minds of the youth, so they don't have an understanding of what's going on and start getting to the voting booths and say, you know what, wait a minute, you people have been lying to me this long. You're over here calling these people the monsters, and you guys are the ones that are the monsters. So people, please, especially now, a lot of people are graduating or going into their final year, which next year they'll wind up hitting 18 and they'll be able to register and vote. They need to be well informed of what's going on. Okay, they definitely do, because the campaign that's being used for them to vote Democrat is definitely a campaign of disinformation. Okay, and it's chaotic. Trust me, because it's causing a lot of trouble. It's causing for a lot of people to get hurt, okay, and be vilified. But I'll digress on that for now. I had to look up some information. I showed you that video, but I was watching some of Lou Valentino's content last night, and I couldn't find out where the Harris campaign supposedly sent out an email. But watching Lou's video, I realized that it was through an ex content creator called Dom Lucree. Okay, and I'm gonna read exactly. I'm sure you guys probably seen this last night on Lou's channel, but check this out. And this, you know, the Democrats always talking about, oh, that we have to shut down disinformation. We have to shut down, you know, the negative narrative. But I want you to, now, if this is all true, okay, and I'm not trying to say that it's not, but when I mean if this is all true, was this Kamala Harris's words, or did she leave it up to one of her shills to write this down and she just okayed it and said, okay, go ahead, let's go with it? This is what was put out. It says, happening now, Kamala Harris campaign is freaking out over Elon Musk's spaces with Donald Trump and requesting more money from donors via email. This comes a day after the Harris campaign claimed Trump was scared of her. Yeah, okay. Right now, Elon Musk is interviewing Donald Trump live on Twitter. We're not calling it X. Big freaking deal. Nobody cares what the hell you call it. It's not enough that Musk has pledged millions of dollars to help re-elect Trump. He's using his purchase platform. You know, I wonder if she felt the same when Mark Zuckerberg donated nearly $800 million to the Democratic Party, and he used Facebook, that even he admitted, okay, live on an interview not too long ago. I believe it was, I don't want to get the who interviewed him wrong, so I'm gonna pull back on saying who interviewed him. But even he said that he was not going to get involved in the same way, the way he did during that time. Okay, I believe it was from 2020 through 2022. Okay, so it's funny how when he did it for the Democrats using Facebook, that was okay. That was quite all right. But now she's going to come and try to belittle, okay, Elon Musk on his platform. Okay, but let's continue. It says it's not enough that Musk has pledged millions of dollars to help re-elect Trump. Sick. He's using his purchased platform, one of the largest social media sites in the world, to spread Trump's unhinged and hateful agenda to millions of users. Laughing face. See, right away, they want to say that whatever's going to be said is going to be disinformation. But look at the wording that's being used. To spread Trump's unhinged, that's false because Trump is not unhinged, and hateful agenda, which is false again because it's not a hateful agenda. And if you listen to the whole video, there was nothing hateful in that I'm sorry, if you listen to the interview, there was nothing hateful in the interview. So not only is she spreading disinformation, okay, she basically not contradicted. She basically tried to predict what was going to happen. Okay? Which is basically, yeah, she contradicted herself because she wound up saying this, and that wasn't even the case if you listen to the interview. Okay? But let's continue. It says, the richest person in the world is a lackey for Team MAGA. Once again, I wonder if she's going to say the same thing about Mark Zuckerberg and all the money that he donated to the Democratic Party and how he used his platform to shut down truth, okay, and spread disinformation. But let's continue. Musk has already ruining Twitter by allowing hate speech and disinformation to flood the platform. Yeah, okay, keep it moving. Now Musk is using his vast fortune and broad reach to try to control our democracy. This is what she's saying. He's trying to use his broad reach. Now, I hope that when she sent this, and it doesn't matter whether it was before or after, the EU sent a threatening letter to Elon Musk. I wonder if she considers that what they did, okay, a broad reach to try to control democracy. I wonder if she sees it that way. Because I tell you what, her being the vice president, her saying something about an American, okay, in America, I'll give her that much. No problem. It's from one American to another. Well, I'll use that term loosely on her part, but definitely boldly for Elon Musk that he's an American. But for someone in another country, for an entity in another country to come, okay, and threaten somebody in America, where our God-given right is backed up by our constitutional rights to have freedom of speech, I wonder if she feels the same. The answer to that is no, okay, because they're in cahoots. But let's continue. Now it says here, Harris Walsh, it says, right now Elon Musk is interviewing Donald Trump live on Twitter. We're not calling it X, blah, blah, blah. And it's going to be the same thing, but I want people to check this part out right here. It says it's not enough that Musk has pledged to donate millions of dollars, blah, 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 to help re-elect Trump. He's using his purchase platform, one of the largest social media sites in the world, to spread Trump's unhinged and hateful agenda to millions of users. Now, this is the difference. I'm going to read you right now. The difference that between the Democrats, the Biden and Harris administration, and Donald Trump, and the Republicans and the MAGA movement. If anybody watches a lot of YouTube content, there's always a commercial before, in the middle, or after whatever content you're watching. And a lot of times, there are a lot of presidential campaigns commercials. If it's not for the Democrats, it's for the Republicans. More times than none, if not every single time, you watch Donald Trump making like a 30-second commercial to donate to his campaign, or somebody in his party doing it. They'll always come out and say, if you can donate, donate. If you can't, don't donate. If it's $1, it's $1. If it's $5, if it's more, better. But if you can't, don't donate. Just, try to find a way to support. A lot of times Donald Trump will come out and say, times are hard, so if you can donate, don't dig in your pocket. If you can, please donate. Okay? He says it all the damn time. But here's the difference between his campaign, the way they do it, and the Democrats. It says, if that's all you need to hear, chip in $25 now to help Kamala and Tim have the resources to respond to their lies. Not that if you can. No, it's like chip in $25 now to help Kamala and Tim. Why should you have to do that? I wonder if Kamala, being that it was on her watch and on the Biden watch, if they would like to just go to Tim, okay, and ask him to go and get back some of the $250 million COVID money that they laundered with all those what was it, what did they say, the Somalian charities or whatever the case was, okay, which the federal government had to get involved. I wonder if they're going to wind up doing that. No, they're definitely not. They're not going to do that. But let's continue. Otherwise, let us remind you why this is a big deal. Again, just whatever, fodder, okay? The richest person in the world is a lackey for Team MAGA. Yeah, okay, we covered that already. Musk already ruined Twitter by allowing hate speech, disinformation to flood the platform. Now Musk is using his vast fortune and broad reach to try to control our democracy. Okay, I put my 2 cents into all that. Is all BS. So, the next videos that I'm going to show you, they're a couple of short videos. If people, right now people are saying, just the same way I am, but you have to keep an open mind, okay, that the EU sent a threatening letter to Musk telling him that he better not have this interview with Donald Trump. The mainstream media and leftist content creators are saying that the interview was a bust because they had a hard time uploading. It took 40 minutes, this and that. The platform's no good. No, what happened was that right before they were ready to start, they had a giant surge. It was basically what they call a DDoS, attack. I looked up some of the information on what it is, and what it is that it's like a computer attack when a lot of information floods a website. So the website overfloods itself, and it has to basically, from my understanding, pick apart everything, what's real, what's not, try to basically filter everything before it can calm itself down, and then it'll resume, okay, and get back to its normal programming ways, I guess you can say. So I'm a little bit of an idiot on this, but from what I read, I was like, okay, so what basically happened was, technically the EU could not shut down Elon Musk. What they basically tried to do, in my opinion, was send hackers and bots to flood the website X, to flood that one interview where it was basically going to overwhelm, okay, the program, thinking that they could shut it down. But Elon Musk was like, regardless, we're going to get it going, and whether we do it now or in the next hour, it's going to happen. Fortunately, since people tend to forget that not only is Elon Musk the richest man on the planet, he also has some of the best high-tech technology at his fingertips. So they were able to fix it and go on with the interview as planned. So to the EU, that's basically what I gotta say. You screwed up, okay? But let's continue with that. The next video that I'm going to show you, and what I wanted to get to was, so if people come out and think that, you know what the EU did was for democracy or whatever the case is, that's not the case. They are trying to control the narrative, okay? Today it will be Donald Trump and Elon Musk. When they don't like your agenda on the left, people, they will control you too. If you don't believe me, I'm going to show everybody some video of what's been going on. But here we go.
More than 1 million people tuned in Monday to Donald Trump's conversation with Elon Musk on X.
Not a lot of people would have this conversation, but we cover a lot of territory.
The moment marked Trump's return to the social media platform that permanently banned him in 2021 after the events of January 6th due to risk of further incitement of violence. Elon Musk reversing the ban since taking over. Before Monday's interview, the European Union sending a warning to Musk, reminding him of their law against promoting harmful content. The EU commissioner writing, "With great audience comes greater responsibility." Aaron Turr with the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression points out the dangers of government attempts to regulate speech on international platforms.
You can wind up in a situation where the speech that you find on platforms like X and Facebook is only what's allowed there is only what's going to be allowed in the most authoritarian country with the least protective with the lowest protections for speech.
The EU letter also references the recent riots in the UK, fueled by disinformation online. claiming an illegal migrant fatally stabbed 3 children. The suspect was actually a teen born in Wales.
Okay, now I'm going to cut it right there. Now you heard what she said, because that did happen. That is going on. There are riots going on. But right there, what she's saying, she's already spreading disinformation. Okay, listen to the way she describes, okay, what happened. Pay attention now, okay?
Online, claiming an illegal migrant fatally stabbed 3 children. The suspect was actually a teen born in Wales.
Okay, now she just said that the reason why the riots are going on is because that did happen. A teen went out there and killed, was stabbing children. 3 little girls died, okay? Rumor went out that it was an illegal migrant, okay? Some people were saying that it was one of these Islamists or something like that. They said that was all disinformation, so they went and they arrested some people for spreading that disinformation. She just came out and said that it was a teen born in Wales. What she's not saying, and what they didn't tell you, that yes, that is true. It was a teen born in Wales. But what they're not telling you, from what I heard, that him and his family were actually from Algeria. Okay? And they're trying to keep hush-hush exactly who they are and what their religious affiliation is. Because what's going on in the UK, there are a lot of riots going on, okay? And there are a lot of Islamists out there causing chaos, hurting people, and they don't want anybody talking about it. Okay? They're going after the people in the UK from Britain, from London, from England, from Ireland, from Scotland. You have all these Islamists causing all this trouble, causing all this chaos, all this crime, and they're trying to say that if anybody talks about that that's hate speech, okay, and disinformation, and they're going after them. It gets better, because you'll see. Let's continue.
Musk under heavy criticism for a post he made appearing to stoke that unrest. British authorities threatening extradition and jail time, even though Musk is an American citizen, writing the posts from the U.S. There's a slim chance British authorities will go after anyone outside the UK, but within the country, arrests have been made, prompting conservative critics like Nigel Farage to argue it's an effort to shut down debate.
Many of the campaigners on the left are publicly saying that I should be arrested simply for asking to know the truth about the murderer.
The European Union already filed a lawsuit against X last month for failing to follow their social media laws. I'm Kelly.
I'll leave it at that, okay? There's more. Now, the reason why I bring this up, because this all fits together. Here they are. First of all, we have the people on the left in our country. We already know what's going on between the left and the right, okay? But now, it seems like the left on another part of the planet is trying to tell us in America what the fuck we can and cannot say. Okay? There's even rumor out there, and I couldn't find the video last night, it was late, that there's an article coming out that that in the UK, the EU or whoever it is, that they're trying to arrest people here in the United States and have them extradited to Europe for disinformation. I'm not making this shit up, people. Okay? Now, if this is not some Orwellian shit that's going on, it is not that is going on in America. It is going on in the Western world. Okay? Where they're trying to pass this heavy leftist agenda. Okay? Excuse me. That they make it seem as if, you know what? And they keep using this damn term, and I'm so sick and tired of it. Okay? We're on the right side of history. No, you're not. You're not. Okay? Because that's exactly the same way people like Hitler did it, Stalin did it, Mussolini did it, okay? Pol Pot did it. Okay? Do your history. That's the same way it all started. You people on the left, that's the same way Che Guevara did it. Okay, Castro did it. What's going on right now in Venezuela with Maduro, that's the way he's doing it. Shutting people down that disagree with all this draconian shit. And you people on the left think that this is all fun and games? Remember that I've already had people already leaving me messages, and if any of my subscribers look at what's going on, you've seen the messages. I've responded. I've even responded to people leaving comments and telling them, explain to me. Once again, I had somebody saying that I was a liar, that Trump was a traitor. And I even told them cordially, tell me how I lied. Tell me how Trump is a traitor. I'm giving you the platform. Cricket, not a fucking response. Why? Because all they got is that you're a liar, don't believe your lying eyes. We're on the right side of history. No, you're not. You're definitely not on the right side of history. Okay? If people think this is a joke, okay, check out this next video clip about what's going on with the EU and how they're doing their social media censoring. Okay? And I've said it once, I'll say it again. 9 out of 10 times, the stuff that happens in Europe, rest assured, it will reach America. Okay? Check this out.
So, when it comes to Keir Starmer, it is...
Oh, by the way, this is by a creator called Clown World YT. Let's continue.
Becoming clearer by the day that he wants to put you in prison. Because we're living in an era now where just speaking what's on your mind could potentially land you in jail. And there's been quite a lot of talk recently about people on Twitter and YouTubers, as well as people in the broadcast industry, just wondering what we can and can't say. And this right here, this is the legislation that the people are getting nicked on at the moment. Like the people getting arrested in the streets, as well as the people making the...
If anybody knows some of these content creators, I only really watch Maya Tusi down here, okay, where I'm pointing my arrow. I watch this gentleman up here from time to time. But Maya Tusi has been saying it for the longest. They have been trying to shut down his platform, okay, and his freedom of speech for far too long. Okay, but let's continue.
As well as the people making the Facebook comments as well. This right here is what they're getting arrested on. But there's a couple of problems with it. And I'll get on to later whether or not I think myself and a few others are going to be arrested. Because it says that a person commits an offence if, so they have to do all 4 of these. It says that the person sends a message. That could be a tweet or a YouTube video, something like that. And it says that the message must convey information that the person knows to be false. So that's kind of the big one there really, is that they have to know that it's false. Like they have to know that the information that they're giving you is a lie. Which, like, just on its face, hopefully that is able to protect quite a few people. Because when I make a video, obviously I bring the stuff up on the screen, just like you're seeing here.
Exactly.
This is the .gov.uk website. And you might get people out there that do just throw around false information. But even then, I don't think jail time is the answer. And it says at the time of sending it, the person intended the message or the information in it to cause non-trivial psychological or physical harm to a likely audience. And that the person has no reasonable excuse for sending the message. So basically anyone that sends a message that they know to be false, and if that message has the potential to cause harm, like not even causes harm, just the potential to cause harm, then that would be a criminal offence.
Okay, now I want everybody to listen to this because this pertains to America too. Okay, now you heard everything he said. I have put out videos before and calling out other people. A lot of times I really don't say their name, I put it out there though. But it's like one channel in particular, okay, that I've mentioned before. They'll go and take a whole Donald Trump speech, they'll edit the living shit out of it, put their own words as if it's fact, put it out there, okay? Now, some people will say, well, I mean, it's their content, they can do that. Yes, that's true. But, now, I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, well, this doesn't pertain to us. But pay attention, because in a way it does. If you listen to the way, in this country, the way they're using this kind of setup in order to go after people. The people here in America that are putting this, that have these channels that are editing all these videos from Donald Trump, they edit the video so badly, they put it out, that just this right here, where it says at the time of sending it, the person intended the message or the information in it to cause non-trivial psychological or physical harm to a likely audience, that pertains to a lot of the content creators, because when you look at the messages left by the subscribers, they are viciously freaking horrible. I am talking to the fact that if you read this, you would want to go to the content creator and say, you need to chill out with your shit, because your subscribers, you can just tell by the way they're leaving comments that you are getting them upset. You are causing them non-trivial psychological and basically where they're going to go and act out physical harm. Okay? I mean, you really have to look at some of these comments that when I look at it, I'm like, why is it that my subscribers, we get censored, and yet this channel, just one of many, they have tens of thousands of comments, and they're just like, fuck Trump, fuck MAGA, they're sick in the head, I fucking hate them, I wish they wouldn't exist, Donald Trump this, after the assassination attempt, they were all giddy about it, they missed, you know, and you look at this and you're like, well, damn. Like, why are they able to get away with that? And then the ones that want to speak truth are the ones that are being told, you can't say this, this, and this, but in guidelines, the same guidelines they have in America, because right here it says the Online Safety Act of 2023. Now, I'm not going to say that it also pertains to America, but if you look at the censorship that's going on in America, just the way Kamala Harris is putting out, if she, like I said, if she put that out, or one of her cronies put it out, okay, or maybe even somebody on the left just put it out, for them to put out that kind of statement, you have to accept the fact that, you know what, that's actually going to cause some trouble. It's actually going to piss people off. You're talking so much about Donald Trump and Elon Musk using their platforms to spread disinformation, but yet look at what you're doing. And yet everything that you put out, we can fact check to a T. You use lies as fact checks, okay, against the right. You never come with the receipts. All you do is edit the living shit out of everything, okay? Put your own words in. You keep spoon feeding all this negativity into people, and then what happens? You get somebody on the roof trying to take a shot at a president, at a potential president, at an ex-president, and then try to spin that around and say, well, you know what, he wasn't on the left because, you know, he loved Trump, but he just, you know, he donated once to the Democratic Party. But what you're not saying is, was it before or after? And the answer to that is, it was after he was supposedly a Trump supporter. Which means that what? Now he was on the left. You see where I'm going? And there's something else here that I'm going to point out. That this is where I say this pertains to America also. Check this out.
Basically, anyone that sends a message that they know to be false, and if that message has the potential to cause harm, like not even causes harm, just the potential to cause harm, then that would be a criminal offence. And I guess the elephant in the room is to whether or not I think that I'm going to get arrested. First of all, they're more than welcome to arrest me. I would be more than happy to just sit there, just watching my videos in a police interview room. You know, like, I would sit there, I'd have the marathon. They would be done far before me. Like, I would literally just sit there and just binge watch all of the videos with them. Just picking apart and just asking them specifically what they found offensive.
Exactly.
And if they try and moan at the information, well, all of the articles are already on screen. Then you get other people which are, you know, to do with the rallies and are actually to do with riling people up. And I'm guessing it's a little bit different for them. Well, probably just a little bit easier to prove in the eyes of the law. I mean, if you take like Paul Thorpe, for example, like Paul Thorpe's messaging, it was pretty much always about peace and unity. But I really don't think that that guy specifically broke any laws himself. It's just absolutely mad that we need to think about things like this. In Britain in 2024, we now have to worry about going to prison just for what we say. But believe it or not, right, there are actually a few exemptions. I'll leave them all up on screen so you can read them. But
now this is where I say that it pertains to America. The first thing, let me just throw in real quick. He just came out and said he doesn't think this will happen in America. Oh, it already has, because look at the law that was passed, I believe it was in Michigan, that it's a felony if you misgender somebody. We're here, people. Okay? It's here. Now, this is the part right here. Let me see. Okay. This is the part right here that really gets to me, and you tell me if this doesn't sound familiar. Okay? The exemptions from offense under Section 179. Okay? A recognized news publisher cannot commit an offense under Section 179. An offense under Section 179 cannot be committed by the holder of a license under the Broadcasting Act of 1990 or 1996 in connection with anything done under the authority of the license. An offense under Section 197 cannot be committed by the holder of a multiplex license in connection with anything done under the authority of the license. An offense under Section 179 cannot be committed by the provider of an on-demand program service in connection with anything done in the course of providing such a service. An offense under Section 179 cannot be committed in connection with the showing of a film made for cinema to members of the public. Does any of this sound familiar right here, people? I'm sure you all got it. Who does this all pertain to? Ding, 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 ding. You got it. Mainstream media. In other words, they can lie the shit out of all they want. And all they're going to say, like they say in America, we got it from our sources. Who are your sources? We're not obligated to point out our sources. But they can keep lying and lying and lying and lying. And that's what the mainstream media does. And here you are, this man's explaining it, this is what's going on in Europe. So basically, they can control the narrative, regardless of who gets hurt. And the reason why I bring this up, people, is because they want to put something out for their agenda. They are not understanding that you may think this works for you on the left and it will only go against people on the right. But what you're basically doing is putting out stuff where you're going to get individuals on both sides that will hurt individuals on either side. And it's wrong. It's not true and it's wrong. Innocent people are the ones to always be the ones to get hurt. And you don't care. As long as you can push out your agenda and vilify the other side, you don't care even about the ones on your side who might be potential victims, because basically it's an eye for an eye. And you're the ones starting it. Let's continue.
that first one there, it says a recognized news publisher cannot commit an offence under Section 179. And Section 179 is just what I've gone through, about the Communications Act. So the fact that a recognised news publisher allegedly can't commit an offence under that Section 179, honestly, it just kind of seems like it's not an even playing field. It basically just means that Sky News and BBC News, they can just say whatever they want.
Thank you.
And they're able to just completely get away with it. Whereas people like myself, Paul Ford, Paz, Andy, Jeff Taylor, Ethan Winstanley, not to mention all of the people on Twitter, it just means that all of us could potentially be arrested. Not saying that it's going to happen. I'll have the popcorn ready if it does. But that does potentially mean that we could be arrested, just for what we say. And I'd like to make a promise to you as well. If I get arrested for making these videos, I think the only solution, the only logical next step, is for me to start doing 2 videos per day.
I'll leave it at that. He's making a joke about it, and I understand it's his channel. Go show him some love. Like I said, let me go back over here. Called Clown World YT. Go check him out. Okay, join his channel. But I had to put this in because watching this last night, I was like, wow, it's true. They're literally arresting people in the UK. Okay, if you say anything about gays, transgender, the Islamists, and these are people, these are citizens born and raised in their country, their own countrymen. are going to arrest them. Okay, and the same thing, and it's not that people here in America are getting arrested, but who would have thought that a law would have been passed in America, like I said in Michigan, where it is a felony to misgender somebody. If I go and see some dude with a beard and makeup and say, "What's up, bro?" in Michigan, and that person gets upset and say, "You misgender me," I would have jackboots knocking on my fucking door, or whatever the case is. But how long before it becomes law of the land that you cannot basically speak your own mind? It's basically saying you cannot have an opinion unless my opinion goes along with their narrative. And like I said, this is going out to you people also on the left. If you think it's all fun and games now, give it some time. Give it time, because it will be spun back and put on you, okay, by the same ones that want these laws being, these draconian laws thrown and pushed on us. Remember that, okay? So, with that being said, I'm going to show you another video. Here we go. This video was put up by BCP. Okay, I'm going to show you some of it. Like I said, I never show all his content, but I watch him a lot. He put this stuff together, and let me tell you something. It's on point, especially with what happened last night with Elon Musk's video. The way the left, okay, is just, I mean, batshit crazy over it. The way the EU is threatening Elon Musk. Check this out, people, and leave comments. Let me know what you think. Here we go.
Take us through what Elon Musk is doing and the theories as to what his motives are.
Well, unfortunately, I can't tell you what's in the hearts of any individual, but I can tell you what our researchers have been studying with Mr. Musk's own output on his platform X. We examined posts about the US elections that he'd posted between January the 1st and July the 31st, identifying 50 posts that independent fact checkers found to be false. Now, those 50 posts had accrued 1.2 billion views. And there were three main categories. There was an AI-generated fake video of the Democratic nominee, Kamala Harris, which had 100 million plus views. There were claims that Democrats are importing voters. The Great Replacement Theory, a really, really dangerous.
Okay, I'm going to cut it right there, because what he just said about that the Democrats are importing voters, I just showed you not too long ago, a couple of videos ago, of what's going on with the Social Security Administration. The driver's licenses and how they're not matching the Social Security numbers. It's in the tens of thousands. That's all fact. That is on a government website, which means that there are people that are illegally trying to get a voter registration card so they can vote, and it's not matching. So what this man right here is saying, okay, is not that Elon Musk is putting out disinformation. Okay, he's trying to, this man right here, okay, is contradicting not only himself and the Democrat Party. That means what? He's contradicting what the Social Security Administration is saying, the information they're putting out. That's a government entity. So who's pushing out the disinformation now? Let's continue.
Lie.
But the former president's words were extremely slurred as he phoned in from Mar-a-Lago in front of a flattering painting of himself. Here's some of what Trump had to say.
I know Putin very well. I got along with him very well. He respected me, and it's just one of those things. And we would talk a lot about Ukraine. It was the apple of his eye. But I said, don't ever do it. Don't ever do it. You can't do it, Vladimir. You do it, it's going to be a bad day. You cannot do it. And I told him things that what I do, and he said, no way. And I said, way.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about the super duper mega viral interview between President Trump and Elon Musk on X last night that has the mainstream liberal media losing their minds, okay? They're not having a great time right now coping with the reality that President Trump and Elon Musk got 24 million people. 24 million people.
That's a lot of people.
Tune in. Okay, that's how many people have listened to this 2 to 3 hour interview.
Let me cut it real quick, just so everybody knows. I was able to get, you can see right here on the side, that was like the chat site, so I clicked on it, and it showed, and this is just for my own little, trying to brag, it showed Donald Trump, it said host, it said Elon Musk, host also, I believe it said, or narrate, or something like that, and then my name was right next to it. But they do that individually every time you go on. But I was on that that message board with, like, I think at one point it said 258,000 people. But I just felt good about it, so I just wanted to throw that in. But here we go.
View of President Trump and Elon Musk just having a normal conversation, right? I mean, that's what it was. They literally were just talking for 2 to 3 hours, and they were just talking about a bunch of different topics like normal people do, right? It just sounded like a very regular conversation. But apparently mainstream local media, they really do not like the idea of Elon Musk giving Trump a platform to have 24+ million people tune in to listen to them talk about the issues.
This all got off to a very rocky start. That conversation was delayed by more than 40 minutes because of those tech issues. Elon Musk said he wanted to have this conversation so that the former president could appeal to independent voters, but Trump fell into a very familiar pattern of controversial statements, insults, and attacks.
See, right away, they're starting with the controversial statements. I listened to the whole thing. He basically was answering Elon Musk's questions. They were agreeing. If anybody with the right mind, okay, the right mindset would have just sat there. I don't care if you're on the left, the right, the center, if you never voted, if you're not into politics, had you just sat down, okay, with no negativity and listened to the conversation, you would have been like, you know what, man, a lot of this stuff makes sense what they're talking about, okay? But when the mainstream media, okay, keeps using trigger words and phrases and hateful rhetoric, it's very hard for people that hate Trump and hate MAGA to sit there and just go at it with an open mind. They can't do that, and that's because on the left, the powers that be, they keep feeding this heavy negative narrative. And you got, like, this woman right here, right off the bat, it's already negative words already, and that is part of their MO. But let's continue.
They did something. Overnight, Donald Trump's bots returned to the platform that once banished him for posting false claims about the election. The company saying at the time the account was permanently suspended due to the risk of further incitement of violence. It was reinstated by Elon Musk in November of 2022 when Musk bought the company. Trump returning to the conversation Monday for a conversation with Musk. Technical issues delaying it from the start for more than 40 minutes. Musk blaming a so-called denial.
Sorry about that.
Of service attack, a kind of cyber attack that floods a server with traffic to force it offline, saying the massive attack illustrates there's a lot of opposition to people just hearing what President Trump has to say.
Exactly.
Though we provided no evidence of such a cyber attack.
You see, she's going to come on and say he provided no evidence of such a cyber attack. You know, regardless if it was a cyber attack, regardless if Elon Musk has some technical issues, what people feel, they're gonna feed on that and say, you see, he didn't know what he was saying, he didn't know this, he didn't know that. But the two things that people are not taking into consideration is, one, the way the Biden administration, Harris and them, put out the letter, the email, okay, already warning people, don't watch it, donate, they're gonna talk a lot of jazz, it's all gonna be disinformation. And then the EU sending a letter threatening Elon Musk not to have the interview. Forget about the cyber attack that he's claiming. Forget about any of that. Forget about the technical difficulties. Forget about that. Look at what two people, the left in Europe and the left in America, tried to do. They basically, from beginning, tried to shut it down, and they're still trying to shut it down because they're still putting their negative thoughts into this, their negative opinions into this, trying to spin it around to make it something that it's not. Let's continue.
Began with 40 minutes of silence, and then a bropocalypse of politics. No matter how you frame it or what caused the glitch, what was finally said between Donald Trump and Elon Musk at last night's Big X event can largely be defined as a rant filled with familiar lies and lines of attack.
Do you see the way they're explaining this? It's just like, people may look at this, well, that's their opinion, but look at the negative way they're doing it. And the people that listen to them, that feed on this, they start thinking the same, which means that all you're doing is you're shutting down discussion. Okay? You're just making them more ignorant to come out and say, well, you know what? I don't want to listen. I don't want to have this, a discussion. You're a racist. You're this, you're that. Because they're already pushing that narrative. Right from the get, they're pushing it.
Kamala wouldn't have this conversation. She can't because she's not smart. You know, she's not a smart person. She is a radical left San Francisco liberal, and now she's trying to protect. Now she's looking like she wants to be more Trump than Trump, if that's possible. I don't think it's possible, but she wants to be more Trump than Trump. She's terrible, but she's getting a free ride.
All right, but did it do what it was designed to do, which was to put the brakes on Harris's momentum? Or
talk a little bit this morning about Elon Musk and that conversation he had for more than 2 hours on X last night. And your new piece in the Financial Times is titled "Elon Musk and the Danger to Democracy." In it, Ed writes this: the key question is what, if anything, democracies can do to address the danger from Musk. It is one thing having a newspaper proprietor or the owner of a television station pushing their biases in their outlets. This has always happened, and it's protected speech. I have no idea what the best legal remedy would be that was consistent with democratic and free speech values. I do know, however, Ed writes, that whatever he says, Musk is no fan of either. He revels in conflict and is fascinated by the possibility of collapse. He's a disaster capitalist, a vicious troll, and a brilliant engineer rolled into one.
Okay, and I'm going to leave it at that because the video it's a long video. You want to go watch it, go on BCP. My video right now it's got to be well over a good time frame. But, so you heard what this man just said right here, okay? What he wrote from the Financial Times, okay? Let me go back just a little bit. It says the key question is what, if anything, democracies can do to address the danger from Musk. It is one thing having a newspaper proprietor or the owner of a television station pushing their biases in their outlets. This has always happened, and it is protected speech. The reason why he's saying this, and this is where he thinks everybody's stupid. No, not everybody's stupid. Okay, anybody with half a brain could understand that the reason that they have a problem with this, and they're going to come out and say, well, it's different if it was a newspaper proprietor. Newspaper proprietors, they don't reach millions of people. So it's easy to throw this in and say, you know, if it was them, that's one thing. But Elon Musk shouldn't do it because, you know, why? Oh, that's right. Because it reaches out in now, the technological age, it reaches out to millions of people. Tens of millions of people worldwide. And that's what they fear. Okay? Again, did they fear this when Mark Zuckerberg donated hundreds of millions of dollars to the Democratic Party and basically shut everybody down, okay, on Facebook? They didn't say nothing. Did they fear when, who was it, Jack Dorsey owned Twitter and they were doing the same thing? No. But now since Elon Musk has the platform and he has at any given time 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 million, 10 million views, okay, for anything he puts out, he has tens of millions of followers around the world. He decided to back up the most famous man as of now at this point in time on the planet, who is actually supported by millions of people on the planet. It's a problem. What they're not understanding is that they bred this baby. They raised this baby, and they're still feeding this baby. The only thing is, the baby doesn't like its parents. Okay? And now they're just like, now we've really got to try to jump and shut it down to the point. Now, I'm not saying, okay, that the Democrats here went in cahoots with the EU for the EU to come down and try to shut down Elon Musk. I'm not saying that. So let's not get it twisted. But the way the Democrats are trying to run their agenda here in America, that's what's going on in Europe. And now they think they could pretty much tell anybody around the world how to live their lives, what to think, and what to say. And I'm sorry, okay, but this is America. The same constitutional rights that protect people on the left, protect people on the right, protect every American, okay, from all threats, foreign and domestic. Meaning that the EU can go kick rocks, okay? Handle your business in Europe. There's enough controversy and chaos and people needing help on your part of the planet. We have the same problems here. We're trying to fix it, and we will fix it in America. We will fix it in America. You need to fix your shit back home. Anyway, that's what I got for you. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass the channel around. And if you can help support the channel, there's a link in my description to my Cash App and my merch store, TrueOutlawPatriot.com. So remember, people, stay vigilant, keep praying for each other, keep praying for the women and the children, keep praying for this country, for your enemies, and pray for Donald Trump. Peace.